Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, welcome, and thank you for joining us on this glorious evening as we embark on our journey on the road to glory.
What's up, party people of the SFL? What's up, party people of the LSG? What's up, party people of the FBI outside my house, the CIA, the NSA, any other three-letter acronym that you can think of? Welcome back to the show, and welcome to ride number 10 on the road to glory. We are glad you're here with us. We've had a couple long shows recently, but tonight we've got a bye week this week, so I think it's going to be a little shorter show, probably about an hour and a half, so hang in there with us. We appreciate it. I see all the people jumping into the chat here. Good to see everybody. We'll get to you guys momentarily, but before I get to the party people in the chat, let me introduce the one and the only Chuck D himself, and no, not the lead rapper for Public Enemy. A step up from that guy. Public Enemy number 2, Charles Doherty. Charles, what's up? How's it going? What are you up to?
How low can you go? Hey, how's it going, man?
It's
Why
going
are there
great.
FBI vans outside your house? You want to?
Oh, because it's one of the wireless internet names that I use. That with my GF Wireless, it says GFY, like GFY. So,
Okay.
those kind of things. Anyway, so there's that. So just don't tell anybody, because I don't want my neighbors to know, bro. Come on now. Anyway, what's going on, Charles? What's going on, man?
Oh man. It's great having a show after a victory. I'll tell you. And I need that bye.
That it is. I agree, and I kind of actually like the way our buys were staged. For those of you who don't know, who don't follow Lone Star 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, which I don't understand why you wouldn't. But here's our schedule. I'm going to pop it back up on the screen for you. As you can see, we're almost done, baby. We're almost to the finish line. We're almost there. It is, what are we, week 12. We had a bye week, Charles, in week 4. We have a bye week in week 12. Both of those seem pretty good as far as timing goes for me. What do you think?
I agree. I wasn't a big fan of it at the beginning of the season. Now I'm a fan.
Yeah, I think I remember you saying something about that on the show, about you weren't a big fan of it.
Yeah.
But we digress. Or do we? So, yeah, folks. So this week we will be recapping our game against Fort Worth, which, by the way, in case you didn't see the little I-35 shootout trophy, it literally has never left Denton, Texas. We are 6-0 against them. We'll talk more about that later. But, Charles, let me check the party people, and then or do you want to introduce the panel first? What do you want to do?
Let's do party people.
Let's do the party people. Well, first person in, well, it's Pseudo Nakai. I mean, does that really count, though, if you're already here? Bullet Boletsky, Packer Fred, Sneaky Tina Begin, the amazing, wonderful, perfect Pink Lisa's in the house. I see Bob Funk. I see Frank, the franchise Wade. I see Cornwall. I see Ike. I see the man with the best name, the best first name in the SFL, David Leathers, in the house. Chad Rowland is here. I haven't seen him in a minute. DBI, yeah, instead of FBI, Dave Body Inspector. Whoa. You trying to get me in trouble, Chad, or what's? I don't know what's that all about. I don't know, Charles. It seemed like he was trying to get me in trouble. Academy Possible. Not sure who you are, but welcome. Alician is in the house. Nate Hall is here. Cam is in the house. And that's about it for right now. I see people are still bumping in as you come in. And I see you, Bo Martin Jr., sneaking in real quick. I'll throw some shout-outs to you in a moment. But before we get this shindig started and start talking bullet points and the show, Charles, I think we have a couple people we need to introduce.
Definitely. Let's start off in the red corner, shall we?
We shall.
He's the reason why you can't buy a bedpan in the Northeast these days. He'll tackle anyone in his way, even Greg Soto. He does what Tina tells him to do. Our head coach, Albert Bearclaw, Begin.
What's up, Bear Claw?
Hold on, I gotta ask my wife. What's up? Nothing. Nothing is up. Thanks, Charles. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Dude, this is gonna. Oh wow! You know what? That just made this a way longer show. I don't know. Should we kick him to the curb or should we just have Tina come in?
That'll be like a 3-hour show. You have my wife.
Oh,
just
dude.
then you know.
Hey, that's not very nice to say. Gosh, you know, it's one thing I don't like the fact that Albert always talks shit about Tina. I mean, it's terrible in the locker room. I mean.
I think it's called therapy, Dave.
Is that what that is?
Yeah, I think so.
All
I
right.
can't afford it, so I think you guys do a good job.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of therapy, I don't know if there's a therapist in the world, Charles, that can handle our next guest, our next panelist.
No. In the blue corner, his player's durability is locked in at 1. His performance EQ is always on. Defender of Code Green in Order 66.
Oh,
He has his own crisis. Offensive coordinator, the Greg Soto.
Soto, you look remarkable. First of all, I love what you did with the hair, and you look a little shorter than normal. What's going on there?
Hey, yo. I'll be speaking through Joe Boo tonight. I'm here. I'm live, but just Joe Boo won't let me show up. He's afraid that I'm going to get hurt even on the show.
Oh, so did you have – I hate to ask this, but are you eating an entire bucket of chicken right now?
Yeah, a little bit of chicken, a little bit of Bacardi rum, I got some hard eggs too that I got I got to do some stuff with the yolk later on.
I got it. Hey, Hey, Freddie's saying somebody's muted. Who's muted? I can hear everybody. I see Soto. Albert, did you remute yourself? I hope everybody heard everybody.
I can hear everybody.
Okay. All right. Just want to make sure. Marco Swift in the house. Marco Swift. Oh, maybe Joe Boo is muted. Oh, that's what it was. That's hilarious. Gunny, I feel like we are about to be in an Allstate commercial. You know what? You never know what you're going to get on this show, Gunny, so you just got to roll with it, bro. Yes, somebody said something about the buy. It's because we are in a buy week, which, by the way, for the official record, Charles has reversed his position and now appreciates the bye weeks just so he doesn't have to do more simming. Is that pretty accurate?
I can change my mind at any time.
And yes, so that will probably change back and forth 3 or 4 times.
Yep.
Tonight.
That's our roll.
Actually, probably even tonight. I don't know.
Our roll, brother.
So as you guys know, before we get to bullet points, we start every show off with something from our Lone Store. So Charles, what do you have for us this week from the Lone Store?
We have a special T-shirt out of the Cuban Missile section. Here we see Greg Soto after our big victory the other night. He's holding up the I-35 trophy. He's there representing with so much Lone Star gear it hurts. He's got the T on, Cuban Missile Crisis T. He's got the hat on, just standing there proud in our own stadium with Bodacious the Bull behind him.
Nice.
And look at the scoreboard there with the victory score. It was a great night, and he partied pretty hard that night.
And I see he's holding the I-35 shootout trophy as well.
Definitely.
That tattoo on that left arm is not that far off.
Well, we did sneak this picture from somewhere underneath your dresser. That's all we're saying.
Great.
Most wanted.
It was the FBI, but according to Chad, it was the DBI that took care of that. Albert, Charles, welcome back. Good to have you guys. Or Greg and Albert, and I guess welcome to Charles too. Whatever it is.
I'm glad
hey,
to be here.
Hey, but so here's the thing: we don't have any of these white tanks. We have these more muscle shirt. But I wonder. I think I might throw a white tank on there. What do you think, Charles? Should we get actual?
Yeah, I thought Greg got the shirt and cut the sleeves a little deeper. So.
Oh, is that what he did? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you guys, you can go to lonestar.myspreadshop.com and get all the Cuban Missile gear from the Cuban Missile collection that you want. And
well, it wouldn't be a Cuban Missile collection unless I actually got that. I sweat in it for a little bit, had some some stains on it, and then I'll sign it for whoever buys it, and then
So are the
we can
used?
ship it out.
Yeah. So are the used tanks more than the brand new ones?
I think so, man.
Yeah, I think you're right. I
You
think
know,
they're like
people want to duplicate me, man. My DNA is worth, man, some stuff.
With each win, it goes up. Price goes up.
Cornwall in the chat says, "I don't want to see a Cuban nip slip." Hey yo.
Oh yes, you do.
Yeah, you do. Roxy in the house. Let me see who else jumped in here real quick. Graf Mao. I'm not sure who you are, but welcome to the program. Ethan Kai's in the house, ladies and gentlemen. And Aaron Kozak. Why does that name sound familiar to me? Anyway, let's kick the program off with what we normally do. One of our many segments where we have friends of LSG from around the SFL. And what better friend to start with tonight than Mr. Bullet Boletsky. Bullet, what's up? What's going on? How you doing tonight, my friend?
What's going on, Dave? Pleasure to be here.
Wait a minute. Why is Cornwall calling me an MF? I want to, it says. Oh, I want to. I have trouble reading, apparently. My bad. So, Greg, apparently, if you can DM Zach Holdorf nipple picture, that would be great.
Oh, he doesn't want the Cuban banana hammock Speedo?
Bro, those aren't supposed to be out till next week. You just ruined the surprise.
Oh, that's on the plus. That's on the plus.
Gosh, dang
21 plus section.
Everybody go home. Soda ruined it for everybody. Unbelievable, bro. Unbelievable. Bullet, welcome back to the show, bro. How you doing, man?
Hanging in there, Dave. How you doing today?
I'm good. I think we have 7 bullet points because you had 6, but we had to do something special for our friend Tina Begin. So let's begin with bullet number 1.
Okay, bullet number 1. Here we go. Okay, Dave started off the show by admitting he forgot to reach out to Vancouver and Fort Worth to get a few guests for the show. While he offered no explanation, sources inside the Lone Star locker room have said that Dave's water bottle obsession has become a problem. He's distracted by it all day, and he just stares at it and talks to it for hours at a time. He even puts a sleeve on it when he thinks it's cold. I'm not sure what's going on, but someone needs to take Dave's water bottle away from him.
I have no idea what you're talking about right now, bro. No idea. And by the way, in case you didn't know, you can get those water bottles at the Lone Star. Bullet point number 2. They're right next to the Cuban Missile. I wore it in its sweaty tank top. So go ahead, Bullet.
Okay, number 2. In addition to being the most likable person in the SFL, we learned that Gunny is a DJ extraordinaire to the stars, partying it up on the ones and twos as seen in a photo provided by Charles. That Marine has skills.
Yeah, he does, dude. And I got to be honest with you. I'm a flat bill guy, but the way Gunny sported that flat bill tilted to the side, that was gangster, bro.
Yeah, pretty cool.
I think he was a little pissed we discovered his secret job.
Oh, you know what? I think you're right. He was kind of quiet after that, Charles. That's a good point. And you know what?
He hasn't spoken to me since.
I haven't talked to him until today. I haven't talked to him for a week until today. So, in case Gunny's pissed off at anybody, that's not a good thing. That is not a good thing. Bullet point number 3.
Okay, number 3. Well, this is a first. A bullet point about a bullet point. Dave inadvertently forgot to add a bullet point slide about Tina Begin's great quote where she said that she enjoyed sacking QBs and breaking arms.
Wait. How do you say that again?
Sacking QBs and breaking arms. Needless to say, Tina was not happy about this, and while it's not clear what happened, Dave was seen walking around in a soft cast on his arm after practice a few days ago.
Oh.
Tina does not play.
Damn, but you know what? I forgot about this, Bullet. I actually was going to go see if I could find a little sling to put on to wear for the beginning of the show, and I totally forgot about it. Damn it. This is what happens. I just have too much going on in my life. Being retired, it's just too much for me. It's too much. So based on this bullet point, what do we have to say next?
That's the.
That's what I took.
Get you? Did she get you, Bullet?
Bullet's like, Bullet, are you there?
Yeah. I'm blinking twice.
I'm not sure if Gunny sniped him or Tina broke his arm. I'm not sure which one.
Okay, so this is the long lost bullet point that I will be reading from 2 weeks ago now.
Correct.
Tina Begin was a guest panelist, and when she was asked what her favorite part about her playing defense was, she had the quote of the season so far, and definitely a T-shirt worthy moment when she said, "Sacking quarterbacks and breaking
There you go. So, Tina, my apologies for forgetting last week, but there you go. Real quick, before we get to the next bullet point, Gunny in the chat, I had to tilt the cap to keep the sniper rifle sight alignment. Attaboy, Gunny. Attaboy, Gunny. Bullet point number 5.
Okay. Dave pulled out what he described as a cork with a long icicle attached to it from his wine bottle and claimed it's a device to keep his wine cold. His flimsy explanation was met with a lot of eye rolls. Not sure what else he uses that damn thing for, but many observed that he was leaning to one side while sitting for the entire show. Not that there's anything wrong with that. By the way, this item was added and immediately sold out in the Lone Store. Like I've said all season, that team knows how to party.
I have no recollection, Senator, and Lone Star has no further comment at this juncture. Bullet point number 6.
Okay. For the second time this season, Nate called his own number for having the top play of the Lone Star game. While I'm not saying that he's taking advantage of his role as the highlight guy, I'm no mathematician, but 2 plays of the game in 9 games seems like a lot for a LARP-loving strong safety with a massive couch.
Dude, that might be the most muddy bullet point we've ever heard right there. That is so on target. He LARPs. He's got a big ass couch. He puts himself number 1 on the top play. Dude, that is so muddy. That's hilarious. All right, and last but certainly not least, bullet. What do we got for number 7, bro?
Okay, number 7. When discussing a potential expansion of 4 more teams into the SFL, the panel and chat had a hard time coming up with how many new players that actually added up to. It was amusing to hear and see all of the incorrect answers being thrown around, including my own. Conclusion: math is hard, but math under the influence is hilarious.
Dude, how terrible was everybody that night? That was awful.
That was not a good display of math, that's for sure.
Thank God most of us that night are not on the stats team in this league. That's all I'm saying about that.
True story.
Exactly. Bullet, thanks for being here. Thanks for doing these bullet points. Thanks for making us laugh, bro. We'll see you next week, man.
Pleasure, Dave, as usual.
You got it, bro.
Take care, guys.
All right, folks. Those are the bullet points. Those are the wrap-ups. Basically, the bullet points from ride number 9 on the Road to Glory last week. Now we will talk a little bit about our game. It was the 6th meeting that we had with Fort Worth, who are kind of our rivals. They're, just a few miles away. We're both in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. We both started the league in the same area or same season. We got a lot of friends over there on that team with Hacker and Nacho and Thrilliums and the Cowboy over there and Robert Garrett Jr., Twin Screw. There's a lot of guys over there that we like, we respect, and we appreciate. But Charles, let me start off with just the obvious, right? I've got I literally have the trophy here on the screen all night long. Fort Worth, a couple seasons ago, had an amazing season. Last season, they surprised everybody by being subpar, not making the playoffs. And I think everybody expected them to come back this year. Now, they've really been hot. They were one of the hottest teams over the last 3 or 4 weeks before we played them. Is it just one of those things, right? One of those rivalries where one team just has that upper hand and it just is what it is? Or do you legitimately think that it's a case-by-case basis with every single game, and we've just been fortunate to be on the winning end every time?
I think we've just been fortunate. That game, I did not expect the way it was going and the way the cards we were being dealt.
Yeah,
I did not think we were going to walk away with a win. There was some weird stuff happening.
We put up 30 points, which is good. We're a 30 to 40 point team normally. We've had a couple low games, but for the most part, you can expect us to put between 30 and 40 points up a game. Fort Worth, on the other hand, Charles, has been playing lights out, putting 30 or 40 points up a game. If you take the two defensive touchdowns, or I think it was one defensive, one special teams.
No, both. One was a fumble recovery. The other was an interception.
Okay, that's right. Then our defense held their offense to 10 points. That's
they played,
pretty, that's
they
pretty
played
phenomenal.
lights out, man. They held rushing yards 20. The Williams only had 20 rushing yards. He did get
Yeah.
a touchdown, but that is incredible.
Yeah, I saw the same stat.
And they kept the quarterback under 200 yards. And I've said it on previous shows that I think it's a successful game if you get the QB under 300 and
Yeah.
the rusher on or about
Under-
100.
under 100.
Man, that the defense just ticked every box and just played their asses off.
Let me go to Albert real quick. Albert, so if you look at Fort Worth the last few weeks, they've been blowing it up in the scoreboard. They've been winning. Master Gunner 5, welcome to the program. Good to see you, bro. This was, I think, one of those games where we expected a hot team to stay hot, that they would come and they would put a lot of points up. What do you attribute to the fact, other than just a good defense, but what do you attribute to the fact that we literally held them to 10 offensive points for a team that's been scoring 30 to 40 for the last 3 or 4 weeks?
I think when we came with the game plan, we figured it's always been a blowout with Fort Worth, not a blowout, a high scoring game. So we kind of played to that a little bit. For us, was offense, I think, was really good. Ace had 400 something yards to keep us in the game. He threw 49 times and completed, I think it was 42 times. It was like 77% accuracy. I know he threw the pick, but I believe it was on Ace this week that kept us in the game a lot.
Soto or Joe Boo, was this a case where you were simming this week in game planning, knowing how hot Fort Worth had been? They had put 46 points up the week prior. The week before that, they put up 40. The week before that, I think they actually had a bye. Is this just a case where you were like, I'm going to put my offense out there and just see if we can outscore them? Or was the game plan to stop them defensively, knowing that we would put up our points?
Well, through Joe Boo. Okay, thanks, Joe Boo. Yeah, you know what? I really wanted to try to dominate long drives, and I think we did that right off the bat. Drive number 1, we went all the way down. It was a long drive, a lot of plays, and just. I knew they were going to be hard to beat, on the defensive side. Aiden Davis just I believe on that left side. I mean, he was taking care of my side. I know Leach was over on the other end. I mean, just those two alone accounted for 17 of their tackles on the defense. I knew they were going to be hard to beat. And look, if you look at that trophy, sometimes even 3 games ago, but it was like about a season or 2 seasons ago, it was a complete shootout in Lone Star. So I just had a feeling it was going to be a shootout. I wanted to continue to be aggressive, but I also wanted to put a game plan together where we were going to be able to sustain long drives. And I think we did that. I mean, if you look, I know everybody looks at the yardage, and Ace had a hell of a game even with two interceptions. But that time of possession, 32 minutes and 24 seconds to 11 minutes and 29 seconds.
Yeah.
That, to me, tells you the story right there. And one of the panelists, Ray Bentley, said if it wasn't for those 2 defensive touchdowns by them, it would have been a bloodbath. Now, I'm not saying that. I'm just repeating what Ray said at the end of that telecast, where I do feel that way. I do feel that if it wasn't for that fumble recovery, that interception for a pick 6, it could have been a lot worse. And I just I'm shocked when I look at them on the offense. I'm shocked that they only ran the ball 8 times.
Yeah,
I'm looking at it. I'm completely baffled by that.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now, and let's be honest, Charles. Johnny Reno has been hot as of late, and just last week we talked. We're like, listen, they've got Thrilliums, they've got all these receivers, they've got all these weapons. Johnny Reno might be the guy to key on, but then it turns out that Thrilliams doesn't even run the ball. Go ahead.
They only had the ball for 11 minutes.
That's what I'm saying.
I know, so it's not like he could run.
Like he had a choice, or he had time time to run the ball.
Yeah, no, he didn't. But you gotta take your hats off to Adam Leach and Aiden Davis. Aiden Davis had 13 tackles, man.
I'm looking at
That's
that.
insane.
And Leach had 2 interceptions.
I don't want to stop the discussion of this game without highlighting the second half that Ike McBride had. She had 2 touchdowns, and she's the type of halfback that in the second half she just starts pointing at people and knocking them on their ass.
Adam. Actually, let me go to Adam. I'm looking at Adam Williams stats. Sorry, Albert Adam 220, 221. So let me ask. I have 2 questions for you, Albert. Number one. If this is a 30-10 ball game without their defensive touchdowns, is this literally a case of us just not playing clean football and giving a team that we are blowing out a chance to be back in the game and being messy and something that we definitely need to clean up before the playoffs? That's your first question.
No, I think the game, without, yet again, they had 2 good opportunities to go ahead of us. We played lights out. Everything was going. Shout out to Ziggy for stepping up when Soto got hurt, because he came in huge as a 4th receiver. He stepped in Soto's shoes, and no offense, Soto, he did pretty well. Ike McBride, I don't think we have to clean up anything. I think it was we came into a hot team, and they showed us that we have to play all 4 quarters.
So the follow-up, the other question is, which you kind of answered here, but we know Aiden Davis and Adam Leach are phenomenal DBs anyway. So was this just a case of them playing their game, them being ballers like they usually are, and us making mistakes, but having enough offense to make up for them?
I think it's more or less when anyone plays Lone Star, they don't know what they're getting. They can get a dose of Ike McBride. They can get a dose of Soto. They can get the dose of the defense coming in and picking the ball and stopping the run. I mean, I just think they came in and thought that they could throw it deep or, beat us a defensive game, and we just showed up.
Soto, 2-part question to you as well. We know how great Ace is at distributing the ball equally to all his weapons. Season after season, a different receiver will lead our team in touchdowns versus receptions versus yards. He's just very good at distributing the ball. Probably, I would say, the best in the league at distributing the ball evenly to his weapons. Yep. As we look at that again, a couple receivers over 100 yards. Adam Williams at 83. You and everybody with anywhere between 6 to 8 to 10 catches. And then Ace throwing for just a ridiculous amount of yards, which I'm looking for right now. 432 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, only sacked once. Now, this is the 2nd or 3rd game in a row now that Ace has only been sacked once. So part 1, speak to how the way Ace distributes the ball to everybody and how amazing that is. And number 2, how important it is that he's just not a sackable quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, and I know they never come into the stat line, but our offensive line has been stepping up and taking care of business.
Yeah.
Especially Rylan Caudill, our center. Is it Ryan or Rylan?
It's Rylan.
His real name's Ryan.
It's Rylan.
Yeah, Rylan.
I can never get it right. I'm sorry. English isn't my first language. Hey, be quiet, Joe Boo. Shut up. I'm speaking here. But our offensive line has been keeping them up, for the last couple of games. And, again, I've said this before, and I know everybody has heard this. Ace, I tell him, look, we got a good game plan, and here it is. You're going to throw a couple interceptions, but we're going to win. Yeah. I really do feel, especially in the last 4 to 5 weeks, that we have something clicking. I think we do got to clean up certain things. I will agree with everybody on that. I got to get a little bit healthier. I got to stop partying the night before the game.
That would help. That would
I got to
definitely
take
help.
a little bit more seriously. And but no, the way we have the offense set up, even if I go out, Ziggy can go in, Deuce can go in, and that's just part of our game plan. Look, I don't know by the end of the season if we're going to have 1,000-yard receiver.
I don't think that we will actually,
because we don't care about that.
No, we
know that Ace. Our priority is to give Ace as many weapons as possible, and he's shown week in and week out, especially like weeks like this past week, where if we're on point, even if one of us gets hurt, next man up. 10 receptions for Ziggy, Deuce with 4, Adam, hey, what do they keep on saying? Hashtag pass it to the tight end.
Yep.
Well, that's what we're doing. Adam is having a hell of a season. I believe, actually, if you go to the stats in the league, I think Adam is leading all of our receivers with receiving yards. He's having a hell of a year. But it's just anybody can be the man to go to or the woman to go to at any given point. Ike is a trooper. I know she wants her 100 yards at least a game rushing, but you know what? We can give her 83 on the ground and 25, through the air, and there's your 100.
And there you go.
And she's good with that too. And I just think we have such a mentality on offense that we're here for the whole group. We're here to win. The W at the end of the week is more important than the 1,000 yards at the end of the season.
100%, bro. 100%.
Because the yardage doesn't matter if we don't get to what our goal
yeah,
is.
Stats don't matter.
I think everybody's on board with that.
I agree. Stats don't matter if you don't win the game. A few shout outs before I go back to Charles to wrap up this segment. Stephen McMichael's in the house. Stephen McMichael's, even if you're in the house by accident, welcome to the show. You've only missed 9 of them, so you can always go to our YouTube page and catch up. AJ Pick 6. I don't know who that is, but welcome to the show. I'm pretty sure it's not AJ, so I don't know who else that could be. Somebody called a 10 is in here, and Big Damn Judge. All of you, welcome to the program. Charles, I can't wrap this up without talking a little more about our defense. Our defense has been phenomenal all season. We've had key deflections, key tackles, key interceptions, when we needed them most. Albert began tipping the ball, and Nate intercepting. Nate having 2 interceptions.
At least his head for something on that.
What's that? What'd you say?
My bad. I wasn't muted.
No. Nate, I think, is leading our team in interceptions. Bo Martin Jr. knocking the shit out of somebody to cause a fumble. Albert with 6 solo tackles, Bo Martin Jr. with 5, and Albert, I'm sorry, they didn't give you a stat. They didn't give you a deflection on that last play. Sorry, buddy. But let's be honest. We could put 30 or 40 up, Charles, every game. But if our defense doesn't show up to play, we can still lose games. How important has our defense been?
It's the key, I think. There's 3 people on defense that we need to highlight here that don't get a lot of airtime. I mean, you did mention Nate, and obviously Nate puts himself in the top 10 plays, but
he's number 1 every week, bro.
I think the key players are, you got Nate back there as our nickel.
Mm-hmm.
You also got Bogey, who was a key addition to that linebacking core, and he's really shutting down the edge on his side. A hell of a lot better than I expected. I mean, he is jumped out there and he started contributing in the first snap.
Yeah, as a rookie.
And then Bobo Caudell on the line. He made that move over from offense, and he's just a big body out there that just takes up a couple offensive linemen and allows the other folks on the line like Tina and Yogi and Jukin to do their business.
Yeah. I usually argue with Eddie Gage about this, Charles. He talks about how defense wins championships, and I always tell him, well, offense is what puts, the butts in the stands and pays the bills. But in this case, in the hopes of making the playoffs and on the way to a championship, you got to have a great defense, and our defense has been phenomenal this season.
Yeah, I mean, they have. But
I give a shout out to this guy in our defense.
Who?
I still see the play in my mind from this weekend. Jukin, with that tackle for a loss on Williams, he laid that man out. I mean, I could still see that play in my mind. When I saw that on live, I was like, oh, shit, damn, where the hell Jukin come from? It was a nasty hit. And I know it only shows it's just he only had one tackle, but I'll tell you what, that was a tackle for a loss, and I think that was on a third down. But Jukin, man, it's just the whole defense. Again, I'm an offensive guy, but all this thing, and when we talked about early in the season, Albert and I, when we talked about it, we're like, hey, we just got to put things together where we're going to gel and feed off each other. So definitely, when we go out on the field, we see that spark from the defense, and hopefully when we do a good play, it gets them pumped up too. So
absolutely. Charles, last word. Any other thoughts, comments, anything about the game against Fort Worth this past week?
I'll just make a comment about Jukin and Bobo. We've got big plans for them.
Boom. There you go, folks. So keep checking the website. Oh, wait. We don't have a website yet. But check it anyway. How about that? For updates on Jukin and Bobo. Which brings us to, we've talked about this game, but we cannot move on until we talk about the great plays of the week. And these are Nate's great plays, but here's the deal, folks. Nate is sick. So shout outs, thoughts, prayers to Nate. Nate's been laid out now, I think since Sunday, if I'm not mistaken. He's been really sick. Was not able to choose the plays and put them together this week. So Ace, our quarterback, our leader on the field, chose the plays, but Charles is going to step up for us and fill in for Nate to break these down. So Charles, as we start to talk about these great plays from week 11, as you can see the scrolling going very
if Nate isn't number one, we riot.
I was just kidding. That's what I was going to ask Charles. As we see these, do you think Nate's going to be number one again?
I'm not going to let that one out.
Well, then I guess we know who's at number 7. Tell us about number 7.
Number 7, Greg Soto, opening drive touchdown catch.
My cramps?
This is your cramps.
Is this lucky number 7?
You got the hang
glory in the Webster dictionary is defined as
touchdown,
praise,
great
honor,
Soto,
distinction, extended
Celebration.
I love those military Medal of Honor uniforms as well. Charles, what do we have for number 6?
Number 6, Ike McBride, 17 yards in the second quarter. Big gain that we needed big time on that drive.
To everybody who's in that locker room of yours as well, thank you to them. And if you guys saw it there, I didn't know the play that this happened, but it looked like Greg Soto.
Look at Ike with a little shimmy, shake. I don't know that I've seen her do that before. That was actually kind of funny. Number 5.
This is a twofer.
Okay, we get a 2.
Yeah,
so we actually have 8 plays. What do you know?
Ike McBride scores a touchdown, and the Diva with the 2-point conversion to tie the game up at 21-all.
Unbelievable. That Diva. I can't wait to see that one.
Hey, I was supposed to be on her this morning. I missed it. That's the first thing. And then the second thing is the SFL League.
Look at all the sleeves, baby.
Behind there, throwing the ball.
I just
so
wish
thank
we
you again
ran
for
when
joining
we
us.
got to the
We
goal line
definitely
every time.
appreciate it.
Woo!
Okay, thank you very much.
That
You
was
guys have a
one-handed
great
catch, by
evening.
the way.
Yeah, it is.
That was amazing.
That's what I do. But am I wearing gold sleeves? Everybody else is wearing white, and I'm wearing gold.
Yep.
Yeah, that's how I roll. What's number 4?
Number 4, Bo Martin, huge hit to cause the fumble.
Oh, this was a great play.
It was weird seeing it because they don't even exist anymore. And then there was both like former teams playing each other.
So who do you root for in that situation?
I don't know.
Remember,
Oklahoma City. Oh my goodness, another fumble.
Fumbled, Dave, and then they
No, that's not true.
drove down the field, and we got it right back.
That's not. No, that's
Not true. Somebody named
dude, that's
number 88.
not. Dude,
that was
that's
our
not,
other 88.
That's not what,
It's not true. It's not in this video package. It is not true.
and I will honestly say that is not what I saw.
Hey, that's two diva wide receivers sticking up for each other. That
That's
didn't
right.
happen, Dave. Don't worry about
Well,
it.
I 100% I did not see that. So
No, it never happened.
I agree with that. Ike McBride in the chat. Ike was wearing sleeves in honor of the Diva. Thank you, Ike. I appreciate that. What do we have for number 3, Charles?
Number 3, Ike McBride. She's got 3 tonight. Go ahead
Wow.
touchdown in the 4th with 7 minutes and 20 seconds left in the game.
Here comes.
Told you, man. Hey, I am in your corner. Whether I watch you in Queen City for your success.
Anytime
like that,
Ike puts her
definitely
shoulders down and
appreciate
her head down, I feel sorry for anybody in her way. I really do.
Wait a minute.
This is a shocker.
Wait a minute.
Shocker here.
Wait a minute. Nate put himself at number 2?
Number 2.
What is this?
Nate Hall, interception with 6 minutes and 2 seconds left in the game.
So there you go. That might help. Either way, yeah, brisket tacos. We had them at the just before we took off out of Houston from the last convention, and
I'm not gonna be mad. Where did you get the brisket tacos from, if you don't mind me asking?
Fuzzy's Tacos.
Fuzzy's, yeah. So it was definitely a fast food.
Hey, in Nate's defense, he didn't make this.
Surprise!
List. Hey, in Nate's defense, he didn't make this list. But holy crap, what do we have? Who do we have at number 1? Once
Some
again,
guy named Nate Hall.
Who? I'm sorry, who?
With 2 minutes and 25 seconds left on the clock to seal the victory for Lone Star.
Unfortunately, for Fort
we
Worth,
give Nate
their
shit, but I'll
offensive
tell you
on the field
what,
instead of
he
their
has
defense.
improved so much this year.
Defensively,
He's been working on his player, and he's improved so much.
Yeah, I disconnected the parts.
It's just amazing. We're all happy for him, and we give him crap because of his video number 1 and 2 shit, but he deserves it. He really has. The whole defense plays lights out, has been playing lights out, but Nate has been pushing himself on a whole nother level.
Well, let's be honest.
And
he
the great
did have
thing about Nate
is
we went to him with a plan, and he said, "All right, sign me up. We'll do it."
There you go. What's up, AJ in the house? So AJ, hold on, let me see. There's somebody in here called AJ Pick 6. That can't wait. What is Ashley's name in the chat? AJ Today Jackson. Why don't I see her on here?
Is that AJ Levy?
AJ Pick 6?
Oh,
it
yeah,
could be.
maybe.
Oh, yeah, it could be. It could be. So we got 2 AJs in the house. What's up, AJ and AJ? You know what? Yes, kudos to Nate for sure. Albert, I'm sorry you didn't get any credit for that deflection, but Nate definitely has been balling out. And in Nate's defense, like I said, he did not put the top plays list together this week because he was sick. He blamed it on Ace. You know what I bet,
no
Charles?
Punter.
I bet, dude.
Still no punter.
No, well, you got to actually have a play. I'll bet you Nate sent it to Ace, and then Ace just took the bullet. No pun intended. But anyway, folks.
I don't even know. Did we even punt that game?
We had one
punt. One punt.
One punt. There you go. All right, folks. There's your Nate's great plays of the week. Week 11 versus Fort Worth in our victory. Let's move on. Yogi, are you with us?
Yeah, I'm here.
So now that we had 2 teams play against each other and we were able to put some distance between us and Fort Worth, what happened with Mexico City and Houston this week? And and what's up down south, Yogi?
We're down south. Mexico didn't play this week.
Oh, that's right. They had a bye.
Houston just kept on getting on. They played San Diego. It was a blowout the whole game. It was 30-7, 33-7, 40-7, and they put their scrubs in, and San Diego got 2 late touchdowns to make it 43-21. So that was a blowout. That's another 40-point game they've put up. 3 out of the last 4.
Yeah, Houston and Fort Worth in the middle part of this season have been playing out of their minds.
Yeah, they have.
So what else you got for us?
Oh, well, that game you had Brad Jones had a nice game, 118 yards, 2 touchdowns. DR Sims, his usual Hall of Fame. He had 5 catches, 126, and touchdowns, 121 and 122. Josh Rowe had his 4th pick 6 and his 12th interception of the season. That kid is having one heck of a season. Maximus had 2.5 sacks. That's a big game this season with the legendary settings. Our game we've been over pretty much. Albert did not get a pass deflection because it was actually a header.
Oh, he hit off his head?
Yes, they didn't give him credit for a pass.
You can't deflect the pass with your head?
Doesn't count.
Damn
Doesn't count. That's right. SFL rules.
Damn. Damn those SFL rules.
Ace, like we said, had a tremendous game. 432 yards, 46 of 59. And then all of our receivers had 10, 8, 100, 107, 83 yards. It was a big game by the offense. Nate had his 2 interceptions, which we just saw all about. So normally I'll go and give players of the week. I'm going to give players of the year so far up to date. It's about time we looked at it that way.
Let's hear this.
The quarterback of the South so far is our one and only Ace.
Yeah.
272 of 391 for 3,045 yards, 21 touchdowns, 17 interceptions, 18 sacks. Matt Wilson has 24 touchdowns to pace the touchdown bracket. Running back would be Jason Williams, 257 carries, 1,238 yards, 12 touchdowns. He also leads in touchdowns for running backs. Wide receivers, DR Sim has 49 catches, 1,019 yards, 20.8 yards per catch, and he has 8 touchdowns. Defense, most tackles is Albert Begin, and most headers is Albert Begin. KT Slayer has the most sacks at 5.5. Jeff Duffy has 16 tackles for loss to lead that category. KT Harrell has 15 pass deflections. And Josh Rowe has 12 interceptions, with 4 of them being touchdowns.
How many of KT Harrell's pass deflections are with her head, though? Just asking for a friend.
According to the stats, 0.
There you go. Boom.
No, I didn't see how many headers she had. Amelia Rose is 20 for 20 on field goals, so I gave that to her. Return specialist Jeffrey Daggs is 15.1 yards a punt return.
Wow.
With 1 touchdown.
That's actually really great.
Deuce Finnick is number 1 on kick returns at 29.5. I'm just saying,
Wow.
Jobu, you might have to ice that arm up this week again. And Greg Soto is leading with 1 kick return touchdown. So that's where we stand up to date on stats for the whole division for the season.
Awesome. You know what, Yogi? Shit, I had the wrong graphic up the whole time. So, folks, there you go. There's the graphic. Lone Star takes care of Fort Worth 30-24. Houston takes care of San Diego 43-21. Mexico City on a bye week, and Fort Worth that we talked about earlier losing to Lone Star. Some new shout-outs to in the chat. I see Art Vandelay's in the house now. Art, welcome to the show. Lurks is here. And I saw one more. V&K. I'm not sure who you are, but welcome to the program. Yogi, thanks for putting this together week after week. Appreciate you, bro. And we'll see what you've got going on down south next week.
Yeah, we got a big game this week with Houston and Mexico City. It's going to be, have a bearing on the rest of the season.
Oh, and also, Yogi, before you go, if I'm not mistaken, 3 of the 4 teams in our division are now technically in the playoffs if the season ended today.
100%. If the season ended today, it would be 7, 9, and 11.
Gotta love those. Dude, that sounds like we need to go to Vegas and shoot some craps, baby.
Yeah, it sounds like it, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, minus the 7-11 part, but I get what you're saying. All right. All right, bro. Thanks, Yogi. Appreciate it, buddy.
Thanks for having me.
All right, man. See ya. All right, folks. That brings us up to we've got a couple segments left, and that's it. This is what happens when we have a bye week. We get a shorter show. So after a 2.5-hour show 2 weeks ago, a 2-hour show last week, we go back to one more segment here with friends of LSG from around the SFL, and we bring in none other than my main man, Frank, the franchise, Wade, to come let us know. Frank, I don't understand what's going on tonight. We don't have a franchise to play, bro.
How's everybody on Lone Star doing today?
We're doing outstanding, bro. How are you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing great. This is one of those segments where I feel like with you and Charles sitting there, I feel like my principal has come to observe my class unannounced.
Hold on a second. Hold on. Let me see. All right, go ahead, buddy.
All right. Tonight I'm going to be talking about the Lone Star Glory. Charles was a player in Vancouver when he decided that owning his own team would be the next step in the SFL. While in Vancouver, he played running back under the name of Pseudo Nakai. He got advice from owners around the league that if he wanted a team of his own, it would be beneficial that he pick a city close to where he lives. So he narrowed his choices from Dallas, Fort Worth, Denton, North Texas, and Lone Star. Yes, there's actually a city named Lone Star. A little history lesson here. Although the area had received settlers decades before, a proper community did not form until the 1930s. That was when Lone Star Steel out of Dallas opened a steel mill and named the town after that business.
Wow.
World War II gave Lone Star a shot in the arm with a huge expansion for the war effort. Employees were said to number over 6,000. More than a few workers decided to stay after the end of the war. Right now, I think the population's at about 1,600. Charles then had to come up with a mascot. He had a few ideas like Brigade, Defenders, Militia, Rough Riders, and Wranglers, just to name a few. But after looking at all the unused logos in APF, he saw the rider on the horse, and it made him think of Glory. He picked Lone Star because of Texas being the Lone Star state, and it combines many towns and cities in the area. He thought it would make his team more marketable, and in my opinion, it also ties in a small town like Lone Star with its steel mill that helped out during World War II, and with the Glory being a military type background. Many of the Glory like to talk about the camaraderie in the locker room, and Charles is not any different. He wants to surround his people with others that are like-minded, enjoy being around each other. People like Dave, Morpheus, Soto, Nate, Albert, and the Finnick family have always made efforts to make me and others feel comfortable when they come on Dave's show or just in the server in general. When asked about players that stand out, it's always hard for an owner to name just one. His first mention was his first free agent pickup, Dave Access. He has been instrumental in building the roster and promoting LSG. I asked Dave why he left Atlanta after they won the championship and came to an expansion team. He said he was wide receiver number 3 with abysmal stats on a heavily stacked team and wanted to contribute more on and off the field. More important, he wanted to make a difference in building a championship caliber team here at Lone Star. He is honored to have been the first GM and their first president. Jukin Rukin was another guy that Charles saw in Seattle and became one of his favorite players. He liked how Rukin built his player his way and has been dominating on the defensive line. Their first draft class produced guys like Ace Finnick. He was the number 6 overall pick in the season 15 draft. He and his family put on a show when he was drafted.
That was
complete with party favors, snacks, and fanfare. His man cave is even painted in red, white, and blue, and this is pretty cool, has pictures of his LSG teammates hanging on the wall.
That's true.
That's going all Glory. He has almost 13,000 yards passing, 88 touchdowns, and 78 interceptions. They picked Ike McBride and Adam Williams up in the supplemental portion of that same draft. Williams leads the team in reception yards, targets, and is second in catches. Ike McBride, first woman running back in the league, has 3,847 rushing yards and 33 touchdowns and continues to punish defenders in her path. Cool note about McBride, for those who don't know, she is Charles' sister-in-law. His player, Sodhu Nakai, is named after special people in his life. SU for his sister Susan, DO for his sister-in-law Doreen, a.k.a. Ike McBride. The NA is for his oldest daughter Brenna, and the KAI is for his youngest daughter Kaylee. His punter, LA Sites, is named after his grandkids Liam and Ava Sites. Guys like Freddie Trammell and Gunny are true ambassadors for LSG and are absolute gentlemen. Gunny is always willing to talk about anyone and everyone but himself, so I'm going to do it for him. He has 16 interceptions with the Glory. He represents what a lot of us try to be. He loves what he does, no matter if it's coaching Little League Soccer, giving pearls of wisdom, DJing a spring break event, or doing mail call. He is a true patriot and one this country needs. Freddie has 9 interceptions, but he also has a whopping 310 tackles and another 150 assists.
Wow.
Other free agents that have been balling out for the Glory are Bo Martin Jr., J. Mart, Albert Begin, Nate Hall, and the Greg Soto. Martin is so scary the offenses will stay away from him, allowing other members of the secondary to excel. Soto is an offensive guru that can have his guys put up large numbers. This team has several connections to the military. Charles was in the Navy. Mateo Pravado was a Marine, as well as Dave, Adam, Freddie, and Gunny. Albert Begin was in the Army. I know I'm not part of the locker room, but I have been around a bunch of these Glory members enough to sense a family feel. I'm not part of the military, but my father was. My son's name in the Discord is, his player's name was Essex Dinabola. Those are the 2 naval ships my dad was on during World War II and the Korean War. This team is full of talent, full of good people, and if you catch them on the right night, full of alcohol. Long live the glory.
That's pretty much every night, Frank. Frank, wow. I mean, wow, dude, I got a little choked up on that. I appreciate that. We have some phenomenal people in this locker room. So, Frank, I can't thank you enough for doing that. That was nice for you to do that for us this week on our bye week, bro. Thank you.
Hey, no problem. Enjoyed it.
Thank you, Frank.
All right, guys. I hope I passed my observation.
Wow. Woo, that one got to me a little bit. Wow. Let's move on. What's that?
Good night, everybody.
Yeah, good night, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Wow, Frank crushed it. He hit out of the ballpark. Well, I
forgot to tell you, Dave. Sorry.
Oh, Buc-ee's. Hey, has anybody heard about Buc-ee's? Because I can do the next 20 minutes.
There's got to be one Bucky reference.
I can do the next 20 minutes and tell everybody all about it. State.
You know what? I made a mistake. This is my fault. I forgot to say Nate. Nate's a veteran as well.
Oh yes, Nate is too. And actually, yes. Adam is not. I think he said Adam instead of Nate. I think that was the mix-up.
I screwed up.
But that's our bad. So no worries there. But yes,
it's all on me.
It was
not
Nate.
Frank.
Nate for sure. Stay Connected Studios. Welcome to the show. Appreciate you tuning in with everybody else. We've only got a couple more segments left, and one of them is by one of the people that Frank just talked about. Quite possibly the most loved person in the entire SFL, and that is Gunny himself. Gunny, are you here with us, bro? How you doing, man?
I am. I'm a little bit. I'm really at awe of the awesomeness of Mr. Frank Franchise Wade.
Yeah, he just crushed it out of the park tonight, bro. With that one.
Yes, he did.
He did. For those of you who don't know, Gunny does what? Hold on one second.
Can you? Yeah, you! It's time for mail call!
He does mail call. For those of you who don't know, tuning in for the first time or have maybe forgotten, Gunny's mail call is to give a little behind the scenes on the people who are the players of the Lone Star Glory, of the people who are in our locker room and make up the 23 people on our roster. So, Gunny, who are you talking about tonight? Take it away, buddy. It's all yours.
Tonight we got the Lone Star defense, the Marine Corps, on the defensive side of the ball. First of all, before we start off on those 2 players, salutes go out to Mr. Franchise Frank Wade. What an introduction to the glorious Lone Star. Also, I want to say thank you to Ray Bentley and Nelson Lozano for their Monday Night Football as the featured co-hosts. They welcomed me and treated me with a class on Monday night. To Stephen Hacker for our pregame conversation and best wishes before the game. To the Fort Worth Toros organization in support of Medal of Honor Day. And to the military veterans of Fort Worth, Mike Twinscrew, amongst others, and Lone Star, the game well played. Now on to the defensive Marine Corps of the Lone Star Glory. First of all, myself, I was a mid-season, season 14 non-contract player to the Chicago Wildcats. During the mid-season, I was a punter for 1 game. The very next week, I was signed as a cornerback. Season 15, I signed on with Lone Star Glory. I was recruited by the Lone Star Glory by Doug Day, Coach Craven, and Pseudo Nakai. So I've been in the league since season 14. This is my 4th season with Lone Star Glory. Tackles all total would be 167, assists 68, 33 pass deflections, 6 tackles for losses, 19 interceptions, 2 of those for touchdowns, 1 in season 15, 1 in season 16. Also a little bit more of a tribute to the Chicago Wildcats. Thank you to Hanzo Hattori and Mark Chisholm for getting me started in the SFL. Shout out to a few of my former Wildcat teammates that are still in the SFL. Liam Hammer, Ron Hoff, Ryan Yosef, Gerald Giudice, Davis Reed, and Buddy Blaze. Now on to the featured section of who I like to cheer for on my team, and that is fabulously fabulous 5'6" Freddie Trammell, inside linebacker for the Lone Star Glory. He started in season 13 with the Las Vegas Fury on August 22nd, 2019. He started as a free safety. He also played season 14 in Las Vegas, and in season 15, he signed with Lone Star Glory, so he's been in the league for 6 seasons. Freddie has 322 tackles, 155 assists, 2 half sacks, 34 tackles for loss, 37 pass deflections, 9 interceptions, 2 of those which were ran back for touchdowns, 1 in season 13 and 1 in season 17. Freddie is from Memphis. Freddie is a military veteran serving 6 years in the United States Marine Corps. Freddie is Lone Star's offensive scouting coordinator. Freddie's co-worker and boss is linebacker Ronnie Watson of the Mexico City Aztecs. Freddie is an avid fan of the Green Bay Packers and the St. Louis Cardinals. Freddie, it is a pleasure to be your teammate and to be your Marine Corps brother. Hoorah! Stay glorious, Freddie 556. That's it, Dave.
Awesome. That is all, Gunny. Thank you very much for that. Love the mail call that you do, letting the rest of the league know about the people that are behind the players on the Lone Star Glory. Thank you so much. We only have one segment left. And look at that. It's only an hour and 5 minutes in. We're getting ready to go on our last segment. Of course, this segment could last an hour. But before we do that, though, I actually want to go around to our panelists. Since we don't have a game to talk about this week, I'd rather talk about, and Soto, I'm going to start with you, then I'll go to Albert, and I'll wrap up with Charles. Frank and Gunny both said a lot of nice things about a lot of people here at Lone Star. And seeing as how we're almost done with the season, a couple more weeks, and then we go into the playoffs. I just want to get your guys' vibe on what you think about this locker room, what it means to be a member of the Lone Star Glory. Seeing as how we don't have a team to talk about that we're playing this week since we have a bye. Figure 12 weeks in, why don't we talk about ourselves a little bit? What the hell? Soto?
Yeah, real quick. As you can see here on the table, I have some broken items before I go on. I have a broken item that has the Mexico City logo on there.
Oh, I see.
And the San Diego Mavericks logo on there. And, I go to Jobu. I've been 2 weeks in a row. I go to you. I stick up for you, Jobu. And help me, Jobu. You know what? I say, fuck you, Jobu. I do this myself.
Oh, shit.
And here we go.
And there you go.
Here.
Welcome to the show, Greg Soto.
You got to celebrate Jobu with a little bit of rum.
There you go.
So what does it mean for me to be on Lone Star? For me to be on Lone Star has been amazing. It's when I first came into this locker room, I said it on another interview. When you told me, oh, don't worry about it, man, this is going to be fun. Everybody's going to talk. And Charles told me the same thing. I didn't believe you guys, being on Lone Star is made me want to stay and play with my player at a time in my very first season where I almost said, you know what, fuck this, I'm not doing this shit anymore.
Right.
And I came over, Charles and the group gave me the opportunity to be the offensive coordinator. They've helped me out when I've had questions. Everybody in the group, everybody in the locker room is amazing. I just, I can't explain it. I know people say that they have a good locker room. I don't know. It's going to be hard pressed if I ever go anywhere else in the SFL that there's going to be a locker room like this. So I just, I can't say enough. Like even on our coach's channel, we do things seriously. but we kid around with each other. I think that everybody in the locker room, if we lived closer together, we'd probably get in trouble a lot in whatever city we'd be together in. I have a feeling that
100%.
The liquor would be flowing almost every weekend at somebody's house. We'd have a lot of good times if we lived closer together. And I think that goes for everybody in the locker room. And I really do. I really think that I would love to hang out. Hopefully it's reciprocal, but I would love to hang out with anybody, in our locker room. I would be more than welcoming to open my doors of my house to anybody in our locker room. And not speaking for everybody, but I think most everybody would feel the same way.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what it feels to me, to be in LSG for me.
Albert, before I go to Charles and before we get to Mike All for all that and a bag of chips to wrap this show up, I know you've only been here 2 seasons, but tell us about your 2 seasons here and what it means to you to be a member of Lone Star Glory.
Well, I'm feed off of Greg a little bit there with the getting told you got to come into a locker room that is always talking, always popping, and coming from where I came from, it was totally different. It was a fresh embrace to see that with this group. I was thinking about stepping away from coaching last season, and because of the locker room and because of the people here, made it really difficult for me to do that. I put everything I can now into making sure we win for that reason. I have to go with Greg. I feel if we all hung out closer together, I get my balls busted all the time.
Yeah, you do.
I think it would just carry on better, but you can understand me because I'm not typing.
Yeah.
Just like I said, that's the love. Even though you don't get that often, even though you're busting my chops, I can tell it's all true, just kidding and friendship,
all good,
and having a good time. The locker room, I went through some stuff this year with my mom passing away, and I had more people in that locker room than actual friends reach out to me and say their condolences, and if I need anything, please don't hesitate. And that right there touched me a lot. I think I'm still in this league because of the locker room and you guys.
What about Tina?
He told me to say all that.
Yeah.
So that really isn't the way you feel?
He's reading off it.
I knew Tina was the better begin in the whole entire.
He's reading off of cue cards. He's reading off of cue cards.
Yeah, you don't see me look up. I mean, she's got it written.
Well, I saw your eyes going left to right like you were reading. So
I love it. I speak through Joe Boo, and Tina speaks through Albert.
There you go.
That's the way it goes.
Apparently, nobody speaks for themselves on this team anymore. Before I go to Charles, tell us if you've had this conversation, how does Tina feel about being here?
Tina loves it here. Tina being a female in SFL is really tough for her, especially, it's more male dominated. Even though I'm her husband, everyone knows who she is. When she came to the locker room, everyone opened up big time to her. Always joking around. She's coming out of her shell, as you could tell, trying to break arms.
Yep.
She would never say that. She's kind of a quiet person, not like me. I'm a big loudmouth. She loved coming here. She said she'd never play for anyone else, and I quote, she'd rather just stop playing than move to another team. And she's been on a couple other locker rooms. So for her to say that means a lot because she really don't say much.
That's awesome. Thank you, Albert, for that. Charles, before we move on to Mike here, I have a feeling we're going to actually get this show done in an hour and a half, believe it or not. But
amazing.
You're the leader of this team. This is your team. You've cast the vision from day one. You brought in the right people who brought in other right people, and so on and so forth. And what you've seen over the last, let's see, what is that, 15, 16, 4 seasons here at Lone Star has it met your expectations? Is it more than you thought it would be? Like, kind of break that down for us.
Well, where I started off was an empty locker room. Everybody from Seattle was hit the eject button pretty much, and
Right.
I was like, I don't know, how am I going to fill this locker room? And then I met you, and you helped fill the locker room, and I mean, ever since then, I am amazed at who we have on the team, and I think one of my
Oh. Take your time, bro. What's wrong? You're good, bro.
That's what a great locker room it is right there.
Yeah.
Yep. The owner's speechless.
it meant a lot when we re-signed everybody last season. I mean, it really did. I mean, this is great. Great locker room, great people.
It really is, and you know what? And let's not.
I'm like the Dick Vermeil of the SFL. I mean, seriously, man. Anytime I was crying when Frank was talking about my kids.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's just the way I am.
This is it's a phenomenal locker room, and I would be remiss if I didn't mention a few people who aren't now with us anymore. Back in the beginning when we started building this, Coach was a big part of that. Before he left to Louisiana, he was the one. He helped bring me in and some other people, and I mean, we've had only one season of really any turnover out of 4 seasons, and I think that's a true testament, Charles, to you, to your leadership, and to the people that we've brought in here and to this locker room. And I'm pretty sure I speak for every single person in the Lone Star locker room. We just say, thank you. Thanks for bringing us here. We love it here. And I don't think anybody would want to play for any other team in the SFL other than Lone Star.
Thanks. It means a lot to me. And let's go to the next topic.
All that being said,
Holy crap.
let's move on to here you go. So we go from tears to that face right there. Our last segment of the night, folks. All dat and a bag of chips.
Wait, hold on, Charles. Can you shift over to the other? Can you shift a little bit? Seeing some stuff. Oh, jeez,
dude, what is
quit
that?
doing that.
What is that? What's that movie? Whoever can answer.
Next time I'll wear pants.
Hey, all right, never mind. I'm not even gonna bring up that movie now. All dat and a bag of chips. As you know, this show is normally scheduled for about an hour and a half, and then it ends up usually going about 5 or 6 hours. And most of it is due because of this segment. All dat and a bag of chips. Mike All, who gets to come on here and talk about whatever he wants to. He doesn't tell us what it is. The only prerequisite is that he's got to be eating some kind of chips. Mike, where the fuck is your bag of chips?
Well, Dave, you gave me a homework assignment for this week, and I've taken it to heart. So I've got a way of doing this for us tonight, Dave.
I was going to say,
involving the top 10 list you asked me to make.
Okay, from where I'm standing, you are in breach of contract, sir.
Well, just hang tight.
Okay.
Because I've got a top 10 list ready for you for ride number 10.
Okay. All right. Oh, that's right. That's right. I forgot about that.
And let me just say, it was hard to. I was really touched by Charles. Charles there.
Well, that's a whole nother segment.
Charles.
Yeah,
touched
you don't
me at the
you don't
last
want to get
convention,
touched by
too.
Charles.
You don't want to get
Yeah.
touched by Charles.
For the setup here.
But no, he's clearly a great owner. I love Charles. He's a great guy. And I don't know if everybody knows, but his porn name is actually Dick Vermeil.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
Oh, fuck. We'll be here all week, folks. Well, actually, we won't. We'll just be here for about 10 more minutes. But
Okay. So
what
let
do
me.
What do you want to do first,
Let me give you
Mike?
this top 10 list.
All right,
Dave.
go.
Let
Let's
me-
do
let
the
me
top
this.
10 first, folks.
Okay, so number 10 on the top 10 list of chips from the ride so far would be the sour cream and onion Pringles from ride number 8. Those
Now those were just regular Pringles in a cylinder can, right? Nothing special about them. Okay.
See.
Okay.
And they qualify as chips, Dave.
Well, yeah, I guess.
Number 9 would be the Lay's sour cream and onion layers from ride number 7.
Apparently, you're not a big fan of sour cream and onion.
I do like it, but you know what? Of all the chips I've had, they've got to be the bottom 2.
Okay.
It's not good if you have a wife that you have to go to after the show.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep that.
It's hard to get that. You know what? Well, never mind.
Oh shit.
Number 8 would be the Andy Cap cheddar fries from ride number 5.
Oh, okay. All right.
Number 7 would be the Old Dutch barbecue pulled pork wrap ripples from ride number 4.
Okay. Those were the ones I was the most curious about. I thought they would taste weird.
No, they actually tasted really good. I did like them.
Okay.
I'll try and bring you some in May.
Okay.
Number 6 was the nacho cheese Doritos from ride number 2.
Oh, I love nacho cheese Doritos, bro.
Yeah, they're good.
That was ride number 2. That's how long ago that was?
Yeah, ride number 2.
Wow, okay.
Number 5 was the Funyuns from ride number 1.
Wait a minute. You're putting Funyuns over nacho cheese Doritos, bro?
You know what? Sometimes you just got to have a Funyun, dude.
Hey, yo.
Number 4 was the crunchy Cheetos from ride number 3.
Wow. I'm not sure how I feel about this list, Mike, but go ahead.
It's okay. It's not your list.
It's not my fucking list.
Number 3, and this was tough with these 3. It was really tough. So number 3 was the chili cheese Fritos from ride number 6.
Okay.
The only chips that I finished on the show.
Which were the ones that you poured a bag and they were like all over you, like kind of like a porno?
That was that not the Cheetos?
I think it was. Was that okay? I was just wondering. Yeah. Was that the Cheetos money shot? Is that what that was?
Yeah, the Cheetos money shot. Okay. The Chester Cheeto money shot.
There you go. Hey-o.
Number 2 was the TGI Fridays cheddar and bacon potato skins from last episode.
Those actually look the best from our point of view, I think.
I've had those last week. I love them.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. They're a good chip.
Okay. Yep. And
number 1 will be this week's.
Wait, this is going to be number 1?
Yeah.
I was wondering how you were going to do a top 10 without this week's chips. So, all right, that makes sense now.
So number 1 is the Zapp's New Orleans kettle style voodoo chips.
Kettle style. Can we see one? Put it up to the camera.
Yes, sir.
They really spicy?
Yeah, they're like not spicy.
They're like a lay though, right? They look like a Lay's.
They have a tang, and quite a little zesty taste to them.
Hold the bag up one more time. Let me see. It's called Zapp's New Orleans kettle style voodoo potato chips. Okay. Wow, and you think those are phenomenal?
Oh, the flavor, Dave.
Is that like
can't get enough?
Is that like the third or fourth best thing you ever put in your mouth, or?
Well, I haven't met you yet, Dave.
Oh, damn.
Do those chips make your tongue tingle?
Hey yo,
there's a little tingle,
yeah. God.
Just a little tingle.
Oh my god!
But it's not like a spicy tingle.
Yes.
It's like I said, it's like a zesty tingle.
Oh, Master Guns in the chat says Funyuns get stuck in your teeth even if there's a even if they are in the glass in the bathroom. I don't even know what that means. What the fuck does that mean? Oh
Take your teeth out and put them in the glass.
Oh God, that's amazing, unbelievable. This show is going off the rails as usual at this point. Mike, first of all, thank you for granting my request of your top 10 chips so far of the top in the first 10 shows of On the Road to Glory.
Mm-hmm.
But what are we talking about tonight?
So we're actually gonna revisit last week's potential topic that got a little off track.
That Charles decided to take a whole other direction and we went off a whole tangent.
Come on now.
He had valid points. It just wasn't the topic of the week last week, but that's fine because it worked out and we got out of here before 3 hours.
We did. However, you know what? Let me. I want to challenge Art Vandalay here for a moment. Art Vandalay in the chat said the worst thing about COVID was not being able to lick your fingers after eating Doritos. I would disagree, and I say the worst thing about COVID was not being able to lick your other people's fingers after they ate Doritos. But go ahead, Mike.
I mean, you should have still been able to lick yours or other people's fingers. You might not just have tasted them.
Well, if you used hand sanitizer first, though, I mean, have you ever had hand sanitizer and nacho Dorito taste at the same time in your mouth?
But again, if you can't taste anything, what taste is there in your mouth?
Oh, that's a good point. If you actually have COVID, that's a good point. That's a great point. All right, that little side note there, but dude, look, Albert's over there like wide-eyed, shaking his head, like, what the fuck is going on over here? All right, what do you got? So what do you want to actually talk about tonight, Mike? You brought up last week's topic that we got off. We got off the rails on.
Which was division realignment with 4 new teams coming in.
Okay, so I believe I have so I don't know how many people remember, Mike. I know you remember because you brought it up to me and asked me to find it, and I appreciate that. But when we first talked about going to divisions before season, was it 16?
Yeah.
16, 17, 18. I think it was season 16. I got on my computer, got all my best programs that I could ever find to put together this amazing map that I dropped in Gen Chat. And I don't know if you remember that, Mike, but I worked really hard on this. And
yeah,
go ahead.
I mean, your 3rd grade quality is all over it, Dave.
Bro, that's 4th grade quality. Look at, dude, do you not see the telephone on the West Coast? Call a friend. Call a friend, bro. That's all I'm saying. So, based on this, right, we've got Vancouver, Portland, LA, and San Diego. Then you've got Vegas, Arizona, Denver, Sioux Falls, the Tex-Mex division. We all know them. We talked about earlier. Then you got the ATL, Louisiana, St. Louis, and Tulsa. You move over to the east. You've got Queen City, London, Baltimore, and D.C. And then that southeast, which I'm not sure what they call that, Atlantic, I believe. That looks like Carolina, Charleston, Jacksonville, and Florida. So here's the problem, Mike, and I'm going to go back and forth from having you on and having the map on. If we don't know which 4 teams are going to come on, it's kind of hard to say, which 4 teams are actually going to get approved, right? But that being said, we talked about this at exhaustion last week. And let's start with this, right? Because I think this is the foundation we need to lay, and I'm going to ask you to answer it. Do you think we're talking, and I think somebody said in the chat, are we talking 7 divisions of 4 teams each, keeping it at that?
Yeah, that's definitely what it's going to be.
So if you're adding 4 teams, is there any harm in just adding those 4 teams to their own division and keeping everything else the same?
Well, I mean, what if those teams are really spread out?
Well,
I mean,
you guys
then you have like a really weird division.
Well, it is, but you brought up the international division last week, which would also be spread out.
Sure, but I mean, anything outside of the United States is all spread out.
It is. So without knowing who's actually going to be there, Charles, let me start with you. This is the current view of the divisions in the SFL, the six 4-team divisions. I know that we have. I've seen a couple of this. As you guys, as you know them, just shout them out. I know we've got. Was it Indianapolis, right? That's one. I think
there's a Canadian team.
There's a Canadian.
Yeah, Calgary.
Yeah, Minnesota. Calgary's the Canada team. There you go.
Yeah. And the Seattle Nemesis.
Seattle. So that's
those are the 4 that we know of.
Okay, so 4. So if we don't know any more than that, or if somebody's in the chat knows of more than 4 that are applying, Bo Martin Jr. on the ball right there. Minnesota, Calgary, Seattle, and Indy. If we're adding 4 teams for sure, which somebody in the chat last week said, and correct me if I'm wrong, they said the league said they're going 4 or nothing. So if they don't have enough players to do 4, Mike, I'm assuming we're doing nothing, but let's assume we have it. We only know 4 teams right now. So if you got Minnesota, Calgary, Seattle, and Indy, Soto, let me start with you. Where do we put those? Do we do a whole big mix up? Because here's my thought, Soto. We've built the last 3 seasons building up rivalries, right? Anything you do to either move teams out of a division to add some of these teams, it kind of messes that up. And if we keep doing that every time we expand, don't you kind of kill that whole rivalry vibe?
Yeah, but you could always, play if you have a rivalry, you could always play that team, on, you could possibly play them that year. I really do think that wherever they land on the map, that it needs to. I'm a kind of a traditionalist, so looking at this third grader's drawing here.
Hey, fourth grade, I said. Damn it.
Fourth grade. Oh, sorry, fourth grade. Wherever they go, I think you might have to, take some teams and put them together. I think they need to be realigned. And it looks like things that are be affected will definitely be the Pacific. I don't know, maybe the Tex-Mex. I don't see the Tex-Mex, the South, getting too mixed up there. Indianapolis going in there is going to affect right there where St. Louis, Tulsa, Louisiana, and Atlanta. I mean, if they go in there. Who else was the team? Seattle. So Minnesota up there as well.
Well, Greg, let me stop you there.
Indiana.
If you put Seattle in, now you have 5 literally Pacific teams. So well, and you know what? I think Charles brought it up last week, if I'm not mistaken. Is that a case where you add Seattle, you take Vancouver out, and hope that Vancouver, Calgary, London, and Mexico City make an international division?
Well, you could, or you could take the southernmost point there and take San Diego out and put San Diego, Vegas, Arizona, and that team right there in the middle. Denver. And you put those two together. So you still have 4 over there on that side. Now with Seattle there, you just remove San Diego, put them into that division, move Sioux Falls over to Indianapolis, Sioux Falls, St. Louis. And that Minnesota team, they could make one division.
Okay. Then you've got Tulsa, Louisiana, Atlanta. So who goes in there? Let me look at this list.
Yeah, you could pull Jacksonville, or you could pull Houston. Okay. Which is closer to that right there. And I don't know. I mean, you would take from I don't know what you would do there. I would probably take Jacksonville and make that a division.
Yeah, but pull it.
You got another. Calgary. Calgary can be up there. With London. Who's up there? London,
Queen City, Baltimore, D.C.
Queen City and Baltimore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you could do it. I mean, I think you can align it good there. I think the only thing is not going to change is the Tex-Mex, the South.
Yeah. So Albert, first of all, let me ask you what the last thing Soto said. Do you think the Tex-Mex is at least the one division based on the 4 teams that are applying for expansion that will probably remain untouched?
I would think so. You have the more competitive teams from down there.
Unless they take Mexico City for an international one, maybe, right?
Right. If they go internationally.
Right. So, real quick, Albert, hold on one second. There's a lot of chat going on here, so let's catch up with this for a second. Doug Britton saying the Vegas video said 28 teams next season, so that's 4 for sure. We already said we think it's Minnesota, Calgary, Seattle, and India are the 4 that we know of. Bo Martin Jr., thinking there's a Midwest division, maybe of St. Louis, Indianapolis, Minnesota, and maybe Tulsa. Doug Britton chiming in. Las Vegas, Arizona, San Diego, and L.A. So that could be like a Southwest division. And then Doug also, you got a Northwest thing kind of going on. Or you could go Calgary, Seattle, Portland, Vancouver. So Albert, as you look at the 4th grade drawing that I put together for everybody and what you see in the chat and what Soto said, I mean, if you're commissioner, what do you do?
I think you're going to blow up the West and Pacific. It would be the most sense. Restructure those over near there because you have 4 teams close near each other from the West and the Pacific. You could throw all 4 of them together in the South-West Pacific.
Yeah.
And then you can just tie in everything else. Maybe move a couple teams around, but I just add them all together. The 4 new expansion teams come in, like you said earlier. It just makes sense to throw them into their own bracket, because you got to destroy everything you made in the past 3 seasons. You got to destroy all those rivalries. I mean, even if you have them play, like Soto said, a game here, a game there, you're destroying. Like even the I-35 could get destroyed.
Yeah, well, that's a good point. So I'm double checking just because I'm not really great on my Canada map. I want to make sure. I thought Calgary was on the West Coast, but I want to make sure that's true.
Calgary is on the West Coast.
Calgary's on the West Coast. Okay, so if Charles, if Calgary's on the West Coast, which it is, I'm confirming that right now with Google Maps. Calgary and Vancouver seems like a natural rivalry. You're automatically going to take Vancouver out, I think, of that Pacific Division and put them in with Calgary. Soto says there's a couple Midwest teams that kind of make sense. What do you think overall?
Oh, I think I would feel like crap if I was going to apply for a team and we weren't talking about them tonight.
Well,
are there other teams out there that we may have missed?
Well, are there other? I mean, I've asked.
I don't know.
People.
I would take Seattle and Calgary and put them with Portland and Vancouver. And this might have been what
Northwest.
Albert said. Sorry?
Make a Northwest division.
Yeah, and then I would take those 4 teams in the Southwest.
LA, San Diego, Vegas, and Arizona.
One, and then I'd take Indy and Minnesota and either take, Denver and Sioux Falls.
Yeah.
Throw them with Denver and Sioux Falls.
And then boom, there you go. You're done.
But the thing is, I think one of the things Albert said was, well, why don't you just throw them all in their own conference, our own division, excuse me. My problem with that was that you'll have a expansion team that automatically gets a berth into the playoffs.
No, that's good.
Won't you have to restructure that though? Because now you have more teams to.
Now every division winner's has to go to the playoffs.
Wait, is that right now? Right now, as things are right now, if you win your division, you go to the playoffs. Correct. Yeah. So you don't see that we would change that. There would be no reason to change that moving forward.
I'm not saying that they're not going to compete, but I mean, I don't know.
Because then you're going to have a lot of, say, 6, 7, and 5 teams going to be pissed off because.
But the flip side is it's probably going to build up a lot of, I guess, division loyalty and.
Yeah, well, so let me ask you this though, Charles. If we have Vice Wars, right? Just as an example, I think if anything, that Atlantic Division, Carolina and Charleston and Jacksonville and Florida, those 4 teams, that seems like teams that should be playing each other every season, no matter what. If you take away Vegas out of that division with Denver, then what do you make like some kind of rule that if you have a former rivalry and you're not in the same division anymore, that you have to play each other? Because we still want to keep Vice Wars, right? So you take those, which I agree with you, geographically, those 4 teams in the Southwest make sense. But then it screws up Vice Wars. And how many years have we been playing Vice Wars?
Yeah. You got to do what's best for the league, man. I think alignment might be better than keeping Vice Wars alive, if that's what the league decides to do.
Yeah, but you built that up, though. I don't see them throwing away 3 seasons. Like I said,
what's more than 3 seasons, Albert? They were playing Vice Wars before we even did divisions.
Right.
Well, you could still do that. I mean, have them play every year. Just rotate home and away.
Did we lose Soto, by the way?
Soto is out with a thunderstorm.
No, it's Joe Boo. Boo got
Soto. Wait, did Soto get fucking injured?
Yeah, probably. He pulled
I got the money off. Hold on, give it back.
I got a plan.
I just don't. Joe, you real quick, but I just and I've said this before. I hope they take another look, and they probably won't because I'm in the minority here, but I'm going to say it anyway. There's too many teams in the playoffs, and
I agree with that actually.
I hope they cut it down, but they probably won't.
I would say Yogi, and I'm going to pass it off to Yogi for a second. Then we're going to a few more minutes, and then we're going to wrap up. But Yogi, before you say your thing, let me ask you this question. Where you have 24 teams, half of them make the playoffs. I think that's too many. It's too NBA-ish, right? Yes. However, if we add 4 more teams to go to 28,
NBA-ish.
It is fucking. There's 16 fucking teams make the playoffs.
No, that's awesome.
It's ridiculous. It's awesome. Too NBA-ish. I would say, Yogi, and tell me if you agree or disagree, that if we expand to 28 teams, we still keep the playoff format at 12. We don't go to 14.
Yes. It just makes it harder for a wild card to get in because you got 7 division winners. I would even be for having the first 2 teams have byes. You have your 7 division winners have 3 wild card teams, so you have the bottom 8 playing the first week.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that either, actually. I think that if you are a Baltimore or a Vancouver this season, you've earned the right to have a bye in the first round. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yes.
So what is your take on the realignment?
Right. I'm looking at this 5th grade map here.
Hey, hey, don't give me more props than I deserve, bro.
All right. So you take Vancouver out, you plug in Seattle. So you got the 4 teams in the West.
Okay.
Right? You take Sioux Falls out. You plug in Tulsa goes over to go with Denver, Arizona, and Las Vegas.
Okay.
So you keep your Vice Wars going.
Okay.
Now you have Calgary, Vancouver, Minnesota, and Sioux Falls. They kind of go together.
That's not terrible. Okay.
And then you can put Indianapolis in Tulsa's place in that central. That way you're not having one team, all 4 teams being in one division. You're not having your international where they're all spread out.
So,
it kind of keeps limited changes there.
Let me ask you, what is your opinion on the international potential division?
I mean, I see where people talk about it. It's, I understand it's, they're all outside of our border, so you could make that. I'd like to see more teams in it before we get to that. Germany, Australia, whatever.
Right.
I think it would be more interesting.
Yeah, maybe you get enough where you have 2 divisions of international teams or something like that.
Right.
I could see that. Soto, are you back with us yet? What the fuck happened to Soto, dude? That's like 3 weeks in a row he's gotten injured or something.
He dropped the trophy on his toe. He's out for
is that what
next
happened?
week's game
Is that what
already.
happened?
Yes,
all right,
he's
no
out.
worries. All right, that's fine.
Joe
To be honest with you, for me, and Mike, I'm going to bring this back to you then so we can wrap this up. To me, I don't remember who said it. I think it might have been Charles, but I'm not sure. The idea of having the Southwest Division of Vegas, Arizona, San Diego, and LA, the Northwest Division of Portland, Vancouver, what's the other Canada team? Calgary, and Seattle. So you have 2 expansion teams there. And then the Indianapolis and Minnesota are in the Midwest. You just go naturally. You just go with Sioux Falls and Denver. That to me seems the easiest, and it disturbs the rest of the divisions the least, which, to be honest with you, I would be a proponent of, because I think that you've spent the last 3 seasons, like Albert said, building up these divisions. Some of these divisions have rivalries that precede divisions, and that's why they're in those divisions. Why would you shake those up?
Yeah, and that's the main impetus here. Do you look more at regional stuff, or do you look at rivalry stuff and base it off of which one?
Well, I mean, here's so for example, in the NFL, I love the fact the Raiders, the Chiefs, and the Broncos, right? I've always been in the same. The Chargers, I guess they're there too or whatever. But if the Chargers move to St. Louis, let's say like the Rams did, do you take them out because they're not in the West anymore, or do you keep that 40, 50, 60-year rivalry going, right? That's where I'm going with this.
Well, I mean, also in the NFL, Tampa Bay used to be in our division with Chicago and Green Bay and Minnesota. It's like that.
Yeah,
made no
Tampa
sense.
Bay's not up until recently. They're not a real football team anyway. But so what's your final take on this?
So, I think rivalries should probably get a little more credence over just regional stuff for as far as division realignment. I would hate to have Vice Wars drop to like a every 3rd season thing. That would be horrible.
That would be horrible. And what about your rivalry with Florida?
Well, that's never going to go anywhere. Like, we're neighbors. Like, you can't break us up.
Well, but I mean, if they decided to break those divisions up and you only played each other every other season or 3rd season, wouldn't you think that would be a negative from realigning that way?
It would definitely be a negative. I would hate to not have Florida and Jacksonville playing each other every season. I would that would definitely make me sad. Of course, I would hate to lose Carolina too. We seem to do really well against them, and I'd hate to give up some of those wins too.
Right, I get you. The only thing I would say, Mike, and this is the last thing, and then we're going to wrap this up. Baltimore and Carolina, they seem to play each other every season or every other season. They've got that rivalry going, and it still seems like a rivalry. Is that one example enough to negate everything else we talked about tonight?
Boy, that's a tough question. Well, I mean, with the way he decided to do scheduling this year, where we face 2 different divisions, if there's 7 divisions, it might be a real cycle. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. All right, Mike. As always, thanks for bringing the hot topics and the hot chips. Apparently, appreciate you, bro. Thanks for being here. Can't wait to see what you have next week, man.
Later, Dave.
Later, bro. All right, folks. All that and a bag of chips. Always bring in the hot topics here on the Road to Glory. I do have a DM from Greg Soto He says he's back in the blue room. Let me see if I can get back in here. I already put him in once. Let's see. Soto, are you with us? Soto going once. Soto going twice. No?
Can you hear me?
There you go.
There you go.
What happened
yeah,
to you?
man. Bad thunderstorm. Power went out really quick and just took this long to power everything back up.
I get you. Dude, I can hear the wind outside here. That's why I'm trying to wrap this shindig up. So you weren't able to hear what Mike said, what Charles said, all that stuff?
A little bit. I tried to get it right on my phone as soon as I dropped. So I did hear a little bit of it,
Okay.
not a lot.
I'm going to give you the last word if you can do like maybe 60 seconds. Is the preference on geography or should the preference be on rivalries?
My preference is on geography, and that's just, again, traditional list on my side. I think rivalries, I'm all for, and I get what Albert was saying and some of the people, the rivalries, but I'm all for brand new rivalries.
So you're willing to give up something like Vice Wars that even precedes divisions, or the Jacksonville, Florida thing, or the Carolina, Charleston thing? You're willing to give all that up just to move some teams around?
Yeah, and see some new rivalries. I want to see some new stuff. I'm all for, I'm all for doing that, especially if we're gonna keep it, like kind of like the way they have it now, because it does look like it's gonna be geography.
Yeah.
I don't think the league's gonna change now. After it's been using geography for the most part. And look, I get the whole Vice Wars things. I get all that stuff, but how special would that be if you don't do it as much? And when you do, you go all out, and actually if you don't play that team for another year, you get to kind of, I guess, quote unquote, hold that trophy for extra time, and then you got another rivalry. I'm all for it. If you're going to change, new rivalries will come up at some point.
I wouldn't want to go every other year to see Michigan, Ohio State, Duke, North Carolina, UCLA, USC, all that stuff. I want to see that shit every season. So I hope, and we're going to wrap this up now and move on, get ready to wrap this shindig up, but I would hope that whoever's in charge of this, Cam, and whatever committee he's put together, would take geography and rivalries into account and keep as many of the good rivalries that we have, and not
that would be great if you could schedule it that way.
Well, and mess up divisions the least amount as possible as you do this. And I think it was Charles that did that, Northwest, Southwest, Midwest, and then nobody else gets messed with. I think that's a great solution if we get the 4 teams we're talking about. Like right. Charles also mentioned, there may be other teams that are putting in bids that we just don't know about and we weren't able to talk about tonight. So that could throw a whole another fucking, monkey wrench into this whole conversation. All right, folks. That was your 10th ride on the road to glory. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Let me do one more last shout out. Let me see if anybody new jumped in. I see Bullet still here, Gunny, Doug Britton, everybody in the house. Anybody jump in that I did not talk about? No, it looks like we've touched on everybody here. So thank you, everybody in the chat. Appreciate all your opinions and your comments on what we talk about here on the show. Appreciate all the love. And let's go ahead and wrap this up. We close every single show out with a few of the same things, a few of the same reminders. First and foremost, Van Lacey's son, Evan, gone missing on December 17th, 2019, found murdered January 3rd, 2020. If you have information or need information, you can go to findourmissing.com/EvansHope or the Facebook page, Find Our Missing Evans Hope. We have an additional picture starting this week, a graphic, Wanted Justice for the Murder of Evan Lacey. And I'm going to read the graphic to you. It says, imagine this. You have been ambushed by cowards and killed, thrown in a vacant lot for so long that your parents aren't even allowed to see your body again. Wouldn't you want someone to speak up with any information available? Absolutely. If you are listening to this, or if you know somebody, whatever, please contact Detective Coleman, area code 817-459-5373. There is at least $1,000 reward. Speaking with Evan personally on this, I know that reward is nearly 10 times that, with all the people that have donated and chipped in for some sort of justice for Evan Lacy. As everybody knows, we take the military very seriously here. Both Frank and Gunny talked about it earlier in the show. My lovely, amazing, perfect wife, Pink Lisa, is a proponent and the Tennessee State Director for Objective Zero, helping veterans who are helping veterans who are contemplating suicide and how to stop them from doing it and have them work through that. Objective Zero, we've got your back, connecting veterans, saving lives. Special thanks to the party people, of course. Always special thanks to the party people. Ace Fennec for putting together all the videos. Frank, the Franchise Wade, for not only putting together the graphics, but also doing his segment on the show. Gunny, Bo Martin Jr. For the voiceover. Bullet Beletsky, Nate Hall, Yogi Bar, Mike All, Fab56 Freddy, who you will hear from here momentarily. And real quick shout outs just to Nate. Hope you get better soon, buddy. What's on tap next week? Ride number 11 on the road to glory. Of course, the party people will be here. We'll talk about what our special is in the Lone Store. We'll have Mail Call with Gunny. We'll have Frank's franchise segment, all dat and a bag of chips. We kick the program off with bullet points. Nate should be back to do Nate's great plays. We'll find out from Yogi what's going on down south. And Fab56 Freddy will give us his infamous farewell, which he is about to do right now. Freddy, welcome back to the program. Thanks for being here. What do you got for us tonight, buddy?
Good evening, Dave, and all the people out there in the party land. Yeah, it's just good to be here. Great show as always. And as our famous buddy Dandy Don would say, turn out the light, the party's over. They say that all good things must end. We'll call it a night. The party's over. Until next week, where we'll do the same old thing again. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody. Thanks for tuning in on the 10th Road to Glory. Just a little heads up. Charles and I had a little conversation earlier today about how long this show was going to last. And basically, this show is going to last until Lone Star doesn't have any more games. So basically, we'll see you the Wednesday after the championship. Good night, everybody. Whatever night we bounce from the if we win the championship, lose the championship, losing the semis, the quarters, wild card, whatever it is, that following Wednesday will be the final Road to Glory show for this season. So just want to give you guys heads up so you can plan for that. Thank you again for everybody being in here. We appreciate all the party people, all the panelists, everybody who contributes to this show that we just thanked on the graphic a moment ago. Thank you. And we will see you back here next Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern, right here as we saddle up for the 11th ride on the Road to Glory. Have a glorious weekend. Good luck to all the teams. I don't even have to say all the teams except for the ones we play since we have a bye week. So have a glorious week. Good luck to all of the teams that are playing this weekend. And good night now.